Hi there and welcome to this instructional video on how to use the Project 2011 Swift Count data management tool. My name is Tim Akimbo and here with me are my teammates
Joy Okomo
and
Dipwalebede.
We'll be demonstrating by means of this instructional video on how to use the PSC data management tool. The PSC data management tool is an application that provides a means for election observers to report on the election exercise using their mobile phones via text messaging. This data is stored and can be retrieved by data clerks for data management purposes. Your assignment as a data clerk will be to monitor the application as this data pours in and make necessary corrections to the data as necessary. During the course of this instructional video, you'll be put through various sections of the application and how to use it to accomplish your tasks.
Hi there, my name is Joy Okomo. I'm a software developer at Timber Objects, also known as the First Lady. I'll be taking you through the first section of the Project 2011 Swift Count application. The first thing you need to do is get your web browser running. And you go to the URL tab and specify www.psc2011.co.cc. This will take you to the login page. As you can see, you'll be asked to specify your username and password, which will be given to you. Now you need to specify that correctly so you not have issues with logging in. As you can see, the first page of the application is the dashboard page with lots of sections. The first section here is the menu section. We have dashboard, election day, system administration, and logout. These tabs here would help you navigate to any page you want to go to on this application. So all you need to do is go to the tab and you click on whichever page you want to go to, and that takes you to that page. The second section is the filter. Filter enables you get information you want by sample, by date, by zone, and by state. So when you specify each of these here and you click on this go button, it will give you information based on sample date, zone, and state. The third section is the dashboard content area. This area consists of e-day checklist and incidents of SMS statistics. First SMS has to do with arrival of polling station officials. The red box means the polling officials have not arrived, while the green box means the polling officials have arrived. For the second SMS, the white box means that accreditation never started. The red box means no report received. The orange box means accreditation never started but data was reported. The yellow box means that data was partially received. And the green box means the number of checklists that has been completely received. Now for the third, fourth, and fifth SMSs, the white box means that either accreditation of voting and counting process never started. The red box means no SMSs for that section has been received. The orange box means accreditation or the voting and counting process never started, but data was received. The yellow box means data was partially received. And the green box means all data for that section has been received. You can click on the View All tab to view all checklists. Now I'm going into the e-day incidents. The incidents show you number of incidents received on a particular date you specify. and total number of incidents received to date. You can click here to add incident, or you can click on this View All tab to view all incidents. I hope this helps. Thank you.
Hi there, it's me again, Tim Akimbo, and I'm the lead developer with Timber Objects. I'm going to be putting you through on the election day data management interface and in specific checklist management. The election day data management interface is actually at the core of this application. This is the interface from where the answers to the questions in the checklist are going to be managed. To get to this interface, you move your mouse over the election day tab and you click on the checklist menu item. This is going to bring up the checklist management interface. Like other interfaces that have been previously explained, the election day data management interface also has a filter. As a data clerk, this will be your most useful tool in the management of checklists. As you can see here, the filter on this interface empowers you to filter all the checklists on the system by the PSC ID, the day of submission, the sample, the zone, state, and all the different SMS statuses. You have the first SMS, the second SMS, third, fourth, and fifth. Next on this interface is the checklist display. And as you can see here, this shows the different information of the checklists that are contained in the system. You have the PSC ID for that particular checklist, the date of submission for that particular checklist, the location information, which includes the LGA and the state and senatorial district, and you have the observer details, comprising of the name of the observer and the phone number of the observer. Next is a special section here that has to do with the different SMS statuses. You have the first, second, third, fourth, and fifth SMS statuses, and then you have the first, second, third, fourth, and fifth SMS flags. These statuses, as you can see here for the SMS, are actually different. You can see different colors as displayed here on this interface. You have the green dot, the yellow dot, you have a gray dot, you have a red dot that has an exclamation mark, and you have a red dot that doesn't have an exclamation mark. Each of these dots have their own special meanings. So I'm going to explain what these dots mean, and that will help you in understanding what is going on in each of these checklists. I'll start with the green dot. The green dot here represents a complete section as represented by that corresponding SMS. So as you can see in this example here that I've highlighted, it says that the first SMS has been completed. Now the yellow represents partial completion, which means that for the second, third, fourth, and fifth SMSs, they've only been partially completed. The gray dot here and the red dot here have special meanings. But before I go on to that, I'll just explain what this big red dot here with an exclamation mark means. It means simply that no data has been submitted. So as you can see for this particular checklist that has been submitted by the observer with the PSC ID 204001, no data has been submitted. Now back to the gray and the red dots. Now these dots here have special meanings, and what the gray dot here means is that the accreditation process never started, and for the third, fourth, and fifth SMS, it turns up as gray when either the accreditation process or the voting and counting process never started. In the case of a small red dot, what that means is that the accreditation process, or in the case of the third, fourth, and fifth SMSs, that the accreditation process or the voting and counting process never started. But in this case, some data was submitted. So it turns up as a red dot, indicating that this is not supposed to be. You cannot have a center that has not started accreditation and then you still have the observer submitting data for that section. So you, as the data clerk, you will need to look into that checklist and make any necessary corrections. Now, let's go on to a checklist. So you have a checklist and you want to do some work on that checklist. Maybe you want to edit it, you want to resolve any conflicts, you want to find out why is it partial, you want to call the observer and find out why you're submitting this data, is there any errors, are there any problems on the field. What you need to do is, for that particular checklist, you click on the edit button. Now, depending on the particular type of election, you will either see 3 sections here representing data from the first observer, data from the second observer, and the control or master checklist. Or you'll just see just one representing checklist from just an observer. In this case, this is a checklist that shows data from both observers and a control checklist. Now, these checklists are usually submitted in twins, that is, 2 observers per polling station. And this double data submission method is actually being used to ensure high data quality. And so you have a situation where you expect both the first and the second observer to send in the same data for each of these questions. Now, this is important because that is what the flags here try to tell you. The flags here indicate a green when there's an agreement between the data submitted by the first and the second observer, and it turns up as red when there's a disagreement or a conflict. Your job as a data clerk will be to look into this checklist whenever there is a conflict and resolve that conflict. So as you can see here in this example, I have a conflict here for the second SMS. As a data clerk, you will need to go into that checklist by clicking on the edit button and then scrolling down to the relevant section to locate where that conflict is. As you can see here, the conflict is actually arising in this question here. Was the polling station divided into 2 or more subunits? We have the first observer here saying no, it wasn't subdivided into other subunits. But the first observer here said yes, it was actually done. Now that arises in a conflict, because then we are now at conflict as to determine which of the observers is right. Your job as a data clerk will be to call one or both of the observers and find out what the actual situation on the ground is. When you found out what the actual situation is, your job will be to update this control checklist with the actual value. So I'm going to take, for example, I have called these 2 observers and I found out that there was no subdivision of that polling unit. All I need to do is, first of all, click on this checkbox, which then makes this control checkbox or the control text box editable. And that way I can now specify the correct value, and then I can save this checklist. If you scroll down, you'll eventually find the save button, and then you can click on that save button to save this checklist.